Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game, and today we're taking a look at La Sirena. This is a custom pack by Dan Ward, and he posted it, and I said, I'm gonna take a look. It looks interesting. So, the name ship here, it's a 3233, 3 crew slots, 2 tech slots, not a weapon slot in sight, and it seems right to me. And at 12 points, I like it. It's going to turn into a carrier ship for the independent faction, and I think I'm good with that. I think that's something that independents need. It's something, at least in terms of cheap usable ships, they don't really have. So, yeah, I'm on board. Named ability here: you may equip the following upgrades to this ship, even if they exceed the capacity of the ship. Ian, the EHH, the Emil, Enoch, and Emmett. So these are the different holograms that Cristobal Rios has. And yeah, we'll get to those. We'll talk about it. But being able to have potentially 5 upgrades extra in terms of slots, not costs, but slots, decent named ability. And I like what potential exists here. So let's get moving. All right, our elite talent, the Romulan elite talent. Please, friend, choose to live. Now, this, of course, is unique. Combat phase. During the declare target step, discard this card to prevent that attack. This attack may not be directed toward a different target. You may not make your next attack. This upgrade may only be equipped to Elnor or a Kawat Malat warrior. So it's a kind of a spoof on conditional surrender, except you don't have to discard crew, but it's range limited. And I think it fits in with the Romulan theme of being able to negate damage or mitigate damage. So I'm on board. I think this works, and it is very fitting of Elnor's theme. All right, the Kalan Kwakai, or I don't know. I'm not going to dare try to pronounce it. This upgrade may only be equipped to Elnor or a Kawat Malat warrior. Romulan 1-point talent, and I always like 1-point cards because you typically can find a way to use it. Place this card underneath a crew, captain, or admiral card with an elite talent slot. When that crew, captain, or admiral card would be affected, discard this card to prevent that effect from happening. I like it. It's a bit of protection for 1 point. Seems reasonable. That can be forced to be discarded, forced to be disabled, have time tokens placed on it, and yeah, kind of what not to like. It gives you an extra use of your ability. So, yeah, I think there's some potential for abuse in certain combos, but for the most part, I really like it. It does eat up a talent slot. There's not a lot of crew with a talent slot, but there are definitely some captains. Think of this on the most simplistic level as Gol Madred protection. So, from that standpoint, useful. All right, a Kawat Malat warrior. We've seen this alluded to with our previous 2 talents. Now we get to actually see the crew here. 3-point crew, combat phase. Discard this card to add +2 attack dice or +2 defense dice to your roll. This card cannot be affected or modified by any other card. So can't be forced to be discarded, can't have time tokens on it, can't have a disable placed on it. Thematic, certainly thematic. Happy to see this type of card in the game. I think 2 dice for 3 points is perhaps a little cheap, but I'm okay with it. I think I'm always one to want defense dice plus quality, but in this standpoint, I kind of go, I'm okay with it. I like the flexibility. I like that potentially you can have more than one of these. right? It's not a unique, right? We've got no unique symbol, can have even more than one of these on a ship. Yeah, I, I think it's a decent card. All right, Rafi, Fed and Independent, thematic there. Unique, of course. Activation phase, perform a scan as a free action this round. No drawback. So, yeah, for 3 points, let's stick her on some Vulcan ship. She's going to be absolutely loved there. Yeah, I. Now you do that at the start, so kind of like what not to like there. Aside from she costs 3 points, but has some built-in synergy with Spock. Uh, Definitely has built-in synergy with New Vulcan stuff. Even Beta Hirogen, being able to double up on your scans. I like her. I think I might make her cost 4 just because of how flexible she is and just getting a bonus action every single round. But yeah, I like what exists there, and I love the art here. All right, 7. 4-point crew. Combat phase. During the modify attack dice step, convert all battle stations into hits. So I think this is reasonable power because it's only battle stations, right? It's not blanks and battle stations. It's not even blanks. You have to get lucky to have the battle stations. Only 1 in 4 chance, or 2 faces out of 8 on each dice. 4 points does seem reasonable there. There are some weapons that'll convert blanks to battle stations, and then 7's a natural fit on those. She does work every single time, so the more attacks you can make, the more useful 7 is. I'm thinking 7's already a natural fit on like a Gorn ship running Disruptor Bombardment with Carr, and getting to make a whole bunch of attacks with a bunch of dice. She's going to fit right in. But I'm good with that thematicism. I like it. All right, Soji, one of the Asashas. For 3 points, and you can put her on Fed or Independent. Planning phase, target an enemy ship anywhere in the play area. Ooh. Discard up to 1 Borg or tech upgrade of your choice on that ship. Place 3 time tokens and a disable token on this card. Ooh, anywhere targeting. And you can do that from the beginning of the game. I think the only change I would make is that Soji starts the game with 1, maybe 2 time tokens so that she can't do it to start the game. I think she needs just a little bit of a cooldown or a ramp up to be able to use this effect. Otherwise, she's going to be a little too good. That's my only concern there. I'm perfectly happy with her being able to discard something, even anywhere. She has superpowers, as it were. But it leaves a big feel bad. And I don't think that's a direction you necessarily want to go with a custom card, is to have those feel bad moments for people. Because it just leaves people not wanting to come back. So that's my only feedback there. All right. The generic of La Sirena goes 2-2-3-2, which I want to think the name ship, wasn't it 3 and 3? Anyway, I think it lost an attack and a shield and a few actions and a bunch of slots. I would make this maybe even a point cheaper. Oh no, it's decent. It's that, or La Sirena needs to cost more. That's probably what really needs to happen. Although you do get to get the basic emergency medical hologram for free. So even then, this isn't like totally a generic ship. It's just a little more of a downgrade from La Sirena. All right, the Way of Absolute Candor. Well, ignore the Way of Absolute Candor. This upgrade may be equipped to Elnor or a Kawat Malat warrior. At any time, discard this card to reveal the maneuver of any enemy ship. Yeah, that fits, right? You want to know what they got? See what they're doing? Try to interfere with their plans because they're moving after you? Okay, that works for me. 2 points, one-time use. I'm good with that. All right, the basic EMH. So it can go for free on the speed freighter like we just saw. It's either a crew or a tech, and for an action you can remove all disabled tokens from your crew upgrades and then discard this card. I think that fits. It's a reasonable card. I might even say it could be 1 point, and I'm not feeling like it's broken. But two feels right. I think that's a good pricing and a good ability. All right, Captain Cristobal Rios for 3 points. Fed independent. I like dual factioning there. Combat phase. After you attack, perform a maneuver of 2 or less from your maneuver dial, and then put 2 time tokens on this card. Ooh, I like that. So you get to use it every other turn that you make an attack. So he doesn't feel like he's just going to be zipping and zagging all over the board. But he's going to have some decent abilities to get out of harm's way from time to time. Although he is attacking relatively last, so really this is more set up for next turn. But yeah, I like him as filler, and I definitely like him as a low skill captain that intrigues me at the very least. Okay, Dr. Agnes Jurati, 3 point crew, again fed independent. I'm liking the dual factioning here. Planning phase, discard this card equipped and equip a discarded crew, captain, or admiral card to this ship. That's a fair price to pay. Yeah, lots of potential here. Not tons and tons and tons of abuse. Because like the most abused cards are now removed from game. So Agnes being able to bring back a discarded card, fitting is the best word I've got there. All right, Elnor. Ooh, crew double tech, independent Romulan. I like that dual factioning. That's one I don't think we've seen before. And for an action, force the opposing player to remove 1 crew upgrade of their choice, and this is at range 1. Place 3 time tokens on this card. I'm good with that. Yeah, I think that's a viable action. It's not quite as good as targeted discard, so it has a little less of the feel bad, but it's still a very powerful action. Limited range, and again, I'm okay there. But really, Elnor is a crew that's going to be a holder for some interesting talents. All right. The Emergency Engineering Hologram, or Ian. Counts as a crew or a tech, and planning phase, we can remove 1 Ox Power token from the ship for 3 time tokens. Can only go on La Sirena. I'm good. I think that's a fair ability. 2 points. Works for me. All going to depend on how we build out the ship, but I think Ian has some uses there. All right. The EHH, the Hospitality Hologram. Again, crew or tech. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Perform any action. Perform an action on any card as a free action. Okay. Getting to do that once every 3 rounds. Gonna have potential for some nice combos, but limitations on how frequently you can do it. Of course, you can always bring Julian Bashir to do that more frequently, but are you really going to use Bashir a ton on, or limited to this ship versus being able to use him on other ships? I don't know. But for 2 points, again, feels fitting. All right, Emil, the medical hologram. Again, crew or tech, in the planning phase, remove all disable upgrade tokens from your crew upgrades and place 3 time tokens on this card. So again, we've got some ways to bring our crew back. I like it. Fits well. And then we've got Enoch, the navigational hologram. Again, crew or tech. Perform additional maneuver from your movement dial. That's in the movement phase. Place 3 time tokens on this card. Fits nicely with Captain Rios. So you get to move again, and then you get to make your attack later and move again. So there's a certain amount of La Sirena playing into the move and move and move and move. I like to move it build. Yeah. Again, I think this is fair at 2 points. Not going to break the bank. Limited on La Sirena. So doesn't feel like any abuse is coming. Yeah. And lastly, at least I believe lastly, with our holograms, we have Emmett, the emergency tactical program. Still is a crew or a tech upgrade. And in the combat phase, you can add +2 to your captain skill for the remainder of the round. Place 3 time tokens on this card. So now this is how we get Rios at least up to skill 5. He's playing with at least more frequently used captains. Yeah, I think for 2 points, I'd even be okay with Emmett being a 2 time token character every other round, or even just a constant since you are paying the points for him. But yeah, I think he serves a purpose. All right, the aromatic syndrome. This is from All Good Things with Picard. All right, talent, independent talent, and 2 points at the combat phase. Discard this card and the card it is associated with to prevent the ship from being attacked this round. The attacking ship may not redirect their attack, and your ship may not attack this round. So the question becomes, how valuable is your ship? If it's playing a support ship role, then aromatic syndrome is your prevention card. Because saving yourself from being attacked for an entire round, especially in, well, OP play or mission play, really, this card could save everything about your ship. I could legitimately see this having a great use. Now, you are going to have to discard a crew or a captain or an admiral, because that's the part of discarding the card that it's associated with. But I think it's a price that's worth paying. All right, and then we have Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. Add 2 crew upgrades to your upgrade bar. Each crew upgrade assigned to your ship costs 1 less point, max of 3 points total discount. So you're paying, let's say, 1 point, because you're going to max out on your 3 crew slot discount, for a 1 skill admiral or 1 captain skill boost on your admiral, plus 2 crew slots and a talent holder. I think that's worthwhile. Now, you do have your opportunity cost. You're running Picard instead of any other admiral. So, consider that. But I think there's a time and a place where Picard would have use in fleets. All right, and then the captain version of Picard, very much the same thing. Although, notice the admiral was independent and fed. The captain is just independent. So skill 5 for this version of Picard. Still get those bonus 2 crew slots. Still get the discount, capped at 3. So 5 point for essentially a 1 cost captain and a talent slot and 2 bonus crew slots. I think there's a time I'd run that. Now, over every other Picard, I don't know. But not every other Picard is independent. So there's times, if I'm running independent, I would highly consider running this Picard at the very least. All right, the one thing I didn't pull up, the movement dial for La Sirena. Thank you. 1 turns. Thank you. And a 2 come about white. Ooh, that's got some fun stuff there. Only red maneuver 5 straight. It's gonna ox you out to go fast. I think there's some usefulness to this dial. I think this ship has some potential. So yes. Yeah, the named ship with those stats is going to have to cost a little bit more. A wee bit more. Maybe go to like 14. I don't think a 3233 is way broken in stats, but 12 points feels underpriced for it, especially being able to add a bunch of upgrades to it. That's my reflection after listening to it. But Dan, I like the pack. I think it's useful. I'd be happy with it. I'd go out and buy it if it existed. But yeah. So, Dan, thank you for making that. Everyone, thank you for watching. And until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.